In the summer of 2026, a team of deep-sea explorers was mapping a previously unexplored trench in the Black Sea when their sonar hit something impossible. 8,000 feet below the surface, encased in a layer of ancient hydrogen sulfide that has preserved it for millennia, lies a structure that defies every law of history we know. It isn't a shipwreck. It isn't a natural rock formation. It is a massive, geometrically perfect metallic monolith, pulsating with a low-frequency thermal signature that suggests it is still functioning. Carbon dating of the surrounding silt places this object at approximately 6,000 BC. To put that in perspective, that is 4,000 years before the pyramids were even a thought. At a time when humans were barely transitioning from stone tools to copper, sure, someone or something was building hyper-advanced thermal active machinery at the bottom of the ocean. But as the ROV cameras moved closer, the mystery took a dark turn. The surface of the monolith isn't smooth. It is covered in intricate, microscopic circuitry made of a gold-palladium alloy that shouldn't have been refined for another 7,000 years. This is the story of the Black Sea anomaly, the discovery that proves our history is a lie, and that a global high-tech civilization was wiped off the map before the first word of recorded history was ever written. If this computer is still running, what is it calculating? And more importantly, who is it waiting for? Why the Black Sea? To understand the significance, we have to look at the geography. Before 5,600 BC, the Black Sea was a massive freshwater lake, significantly lower than it is today. Then a cataclysm occurred. The Mediterranean Sea breached the Bosporus Strait, sending a wall of salt water crashing into the basin with the force of 200 Niagara Falls. In a matter of months, an entire world was submerged. Mainstream history tells us this flood wiped out primitive farmers. But the 2026 discovery suggests those farmers were actually a remnant of a much older, much more advanced society. The monolith wasn't built underwater. It was built on the shore of that ancient lake, serving as a hub for a technology we are only now beginning to comprehend. When the waters rose, the hydrogen sulfide layer sealed the structure in an oxygen-free tomb. This stopped all corrosion. It froze the technology in time. When the research vessel Discovery 5 first lowered its ROV, the crew expected to see a Roman galley or perhaps a Byzantine merchant ship. Instead, their screens were filled with the reflection of brushed titanium and glowing fiber optics. The lead engineer, Dr. Eris Thorne, famously muted the live feed for 40 minutes. When he came back on, his only words were, "We aren't alone in time." The physical properties of the monolith are where the impossible becomes undeniable. Using a pressurized diamond-tipped probe, the ROV attempted to take a sample of the outer casing. The material is a lattice of titanium and an unknown isotope of cobalt, structured at the molecular level to be a room-temperature superconductor. But it's the thermal signature that has the Pentagon interested. Every 12.4 seconds, the monolith emits a burst of heat that raises the surrounding water temperature by exactly 0.5 degrees Celsius. It's a heartbeat, and it's not just heat. High-sensitivity hydrophones have picked up a rhythmic, low-frequency hum. When researchers ran this hum through an AI decryptor, they found it wasn't noise. It was a massive stream of binary data being transmitted downward, directly into the Earth's crust. Is it a sensor, a communication relay, or perhaps a planetary black box recording the history of a world that was never supposed to exist? Initial analysis of the gold-palladium circuitry shows a complexity that rivals our modern quantum computers. But the etched pathways aren't silicon, they are biological. The circuits appear to be a form of synthetic DNA capable of storing data for tens of thousands of years without degradation. We are looking at a hard drive that survived the end of the world. This discovery brings us back to the theory of forbidden archaeology. Figures like Graham Hancock have long argued for a lost mother civilization that predates the last ice age. Skeptics called it a fantasy, but how do you explain a superconducting monolith from 6000 BC? One terrifying theory emerging from the 2026 data is that the monolith isn't just a relic, it's a safeguard. Some geologists believe the structure is anchored to a deep-seated tectonic fault. By monitoring the pressure and heat of the Earth's mantle, it might have been designed to predict, or even prevent, the very flood that eventually submerged it. If the ancients knew the Mediterranean was going to breach the strait, did they build these pillars to warn future generations? And if so, where are the others? Oh, satellite scans are now showing similar gravitational anomalies in the Sahara Desert, under the ice of Queen Maud Land in Antarctica, and in the deep jungles of Brazil. It appears the Black Sea monolith is just one node in a global, ancient network, a network that, according to the recent pulses, has just woken up. As the Discovery 5 prepares for a second manned submersible mission, the world watches in silence. The implications are staggering. If we can interface with the Black Sea monolith, we may inherit the lost knowledge of a civilization that mastered energy, physics, and perhaps even biology. But there is a warning in the data. The rhythmic pulse of the monolith has been increasing in frequency. Since its discovery, the heartbeat has moved from every 12 seconds to every 8. It is counting down. To what, we don't know. But as the dark waters of the Black Sea swirl around this ancient sentinel, one thing is certain. Our understanding of human history is about to be deleted. We are no longer the masters of this planet's story. We are just the latest chapter. And the previous authors are still here, still watching, still calculating. What happens when the countdown hits 0? Maybe we're not meant to find out.